everybody, this is Brian.
And I'm Logan, and this is Tops. Sup. And this is Bottoms. Sup. And this is Triple. Sup. Avocado. Oh my god, we're back in the pond. And we're Crush Cards. Hi, team. Happy Tuesday, my terrific blue tangs. How you feeling? We're back in the pond. Our mermaid tails are wet. It's a great day.
So while this deck hasn't gotten any direct support lately, Totally Awesome has finally come off the ban list to 3 copies per deck.
Hell yeah.
We figured it'd be time to update this deck. It is one of our favorite decks. I know we say that like in every single deck that we profile out, but it's a water Cyberse archetype that came out in Rising Rampage, and it kind of functions a little bit in between the control and the combo aspect of the gameplay.
It's also an anime deck, which automatically makes it 10% more cool and 20% more suck. But yeah, this deck is still 110% in the very low rogue tier. This is not the most competitive deck. It had a competitive stint for a little while when it first came out, but right now, definitely not the time. But that doesn't mean we're not gonna update it. We're not gonna try and push this deck as much as possible because we love it and we know a lot of people love it, and why not?
So that being said, there is a previous build on the channel that is 100% still viable. So if you don't like this build, feel free to go check the other one out instead.
Woo.
But before we get into this profile, if you guys are not already a subscriber, feel free to go down, hit that subscribe button, throw this video a like,
and comment your favorite sea creature. I just want to know. Do you like fish? Do you like whales? Do you like dolphins? I don't know. I want to know. Tell me.
I like turtles.
I like orcas. We also have an Instagram. It's at CrushCardsYGO. If you want to interact with us one-on-one a little more there, go say hi. And we also have a super wholesome Discord community. It's absolutely bopping. If you want to get more of the community feel free to go check it out. We love it. I'm in there all the time. And then last but not least, if you want to further support the channel, we have a pretty darn rad Patreon. We have merch. We have remote duel sessions. We have all the fun things. Go check it out. If not, that's okay. I'm just happy you're there. Also, the side deck for this will be going up on the Patreon. So, I mean, insider info, go to the Patreon. But with that being said, all right, my lolly lily pads, let's hop right into this deck. Ribbit fish.
So starting off for probably one of the best starter cards in the deck, it's Boothang Blue Tang. It's triple copies because this card is just absolutely nutty in the deck.
When you see her, you know it's over.
If this card is normal or special summon, you can send one Marincess monster from your deck to the graveyard except itself. This card is literally just Foolish Burial. For any of your Marincess monsters, you have a ton of extenders that function in the graveyard. And then it's also your Salamangreat Foxy, because if this card is sent to the graveyard as material for the link summon of a water monster, you can excavate the top 3 cards of your deck, and then if you do, add 1 excavated Marincess card from your deck to your hand. And then you just shuffle the rest back in. So this card is really good, and it is good to note that this is a level 4 monster. It doesn't have a ton of relevance right now, but as we progress through the deck, you'll see why that's kind of important. And then we are playing triple copies of our Marincess Seahorse.
Oh, wait, you forgot the 3rd copy. Don't worry, I'll just put her right here.
Thanks. We just want to say a huge thank you to our community. Over the past year, you guys have been so incredible to us and like gifting us this incredible Starlight rare.
Thank you to all of you who pitched in for this. We would not own any of the Starlights we own really without you all. So thank you so much for being the best. We are so blessed for you. So kisses to y'all.
So this card's really cool because you can special summon this card from your hand to a zone that a Marincess Link monster points to. This card literally just reminds me of your Crusadia Arborea. It's a level 3, it's a water, and it special summons itself to an arrow.
And she's got legs.
And it does have another effect where you don't use it often, but during the main phase, except the turn that this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard and then special summon 1 water monster from your hand to a zone that a Marincess Link monster points to. So this card is kind of a double extender, and you play 3 of it because you want to open this card, and if not, once again, you can just send it off of your blue tang. And then probably my favorite starter card in the deck is triple copies of Marincess Pascalis or Pascalis or however you want to pronounce this card. This card,
very pretty.
It's literally a double summon. When this card is normal or special summon, you can special summon 1 Marincess monster from your hand in defense position except itself. So like this card plus any other Marincess card is full combo. Not that like this deck combo combos, but you can have some really cool interactions with this deck.
It's full attempt.
It does have a secondary effect which we don't use unfortunately because we're not playing the traps.
I think she's beautiful. I love her.
And once again, it is a level 4 water monster. Keep that in mind. And then rounding off our Marincess monsters, we are playing double copies of our Marincess Mandarin.
Oh.
I think this card is awesome. This card deserves way more than a rare.
That's offensive.
But the reason we're playing double copies instead of triple copies is even though it is a Marincess name, it literally is just Sea Archiver. So we are playing the 1 copy of Sea Archiver, which basically allows us to play 3 copies of this card. So if we open one and the other, we can utilize both. Sea Archiver and all the Marincess cards, for anyone who does not know, are all Cyberse type monsters. And Mandarin has the effect where if you control 2 or more Marincess monsters while this card is in your hand or in the graveyard, you can target 1 water link monster you control, special summon this card to that zone, you just banish it once it leaves the field. And then Sea Archiver is basically the same same thing, where if a monster is normal or special summoned to a zone a link monster points to, except during the damage step, you could special summon this card from your graveyard or your hand. It just banishes it once it leaves the field. So they literally just special summon themselves. They revolve around a link arrow, and they do banish themselves once they leave the field, which leaves us to our next card. This is a card I've been testing a little bit in the deck. I like it at 1. It's kind of cool at 2, but like you don't want to see it more than once. This card is Scripton. It is a super rare that came out of Eternity Code, and this card reads that you can banish one Cyberse monster from your graveyard, except itself, and then special summon this card from your hand. Most of your entire deck and extra deck are Cyberse monsters, so this is just a free water extender that specials itself from the hand. And then if this card is sent to the graveyard as link material for a Cyberse monster, you can target one of your banished monsters and then shuffle it into the deck. So it just kind of helps you recuperate some of your resources, shuffle things back into the deck. So if you have like a Sea Archiver or your Mandarin, or maybe any of your Marincess link monsters that you have banished, you can shuffle them back and continually get that grind game. And then as we said in the beginning of the video, Toad is back at 3, so we are playing triple copies of Swap Frog, double copies of Dupe Frog, and then the 1 copy of Ronin Toaded.
If you're wondering where the beautiful supers are for these, they're in my deck because
yeah, I'm playing the low rarities, thanks.
Oh, how humble.
This is just our frog package. The 6-card engine is really, really strong. I do think that Dupe Frog at 3, you could make an argument for it, but at 2, it's really strong as well. All you really need are 2. Hopefully you're going to end the game by that point.
By either winning or scooping aggressively.
And yeah, I mean, like, there really isn't anything else to say. This just makes you Toad.
Yeah, free Toad. Ribbit. Thank you for coming.
And then we had a couple flex spots in the deck. We are not playing hand traps because, as we said in the beginning of the deck, this is not really like a meta contender, so there's no reason to try to make this stand up to all the top decks. And I do feel like if you're gonna play hand traps, you don't play just 3. You either play 0 or you play 20. So like, we don't have enough room for that. So we are playing just extenders to try to play through hand traps. So the extender package that I chose are triple copies of Silent Angler.
Ooh.
First off, the rarity, I bought this Duelist Saga rarity is just fabulous.
We love to see
I absolutely adore this rarity. But Silent Angler is just a level 4 water monster that special summons itself from your hand if you control a water monster.
Wow, that sounds like the perfect definition of an extender. If you would like further definitions of extenders and or engines, feel free to check out yesterday's video of our new series Yugi Pros, where we talk exactly about engines and extenders.
The only stipulation to this card is that once you special summon it, you cannot special summon monsters from the hand after.
Okay, so do it last.
Exactly. That's the point.
Wow, Yu-Gi-Oh! Golly, I wonder what we're playing this card for.
Yeah, this is just like one of your auto win conditions. This card is gross. In case no one knows what the barrier statues do, all of them have the same effect where you can only special summon the type of monster of the given card. So this is a water barrier statue. Therefore, once this card is face up on the field, neither player can special summon monsters except for waters.
Amazing.
And we're playing it at 3 copies because we have tons of ways to get this either in our graveyard out of our hand or just out of our deck. And once it's in our graveyard, we can get this back every single turn on our side of the field. So this card is just nutty. And worst comes to worst, once again, level 4 water monster. And then one of the ways in which we can get that into our graveyard is triple copies of first edition secret rare Sign at Mining. Sign at Mining just says send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard and then add 1 level 4 or lower Cyberse monster from your deck to your hand. You can only activate 1 of these per turn, but like this is the best starter and extender because it can search any of your Marincess cards or Sea Archiver, and it can put anything in your graveyard like any of your frog packages. You can put some of your Marincess cards in your graveyard that you can just get back later, or it can just send your barrier statue so you can summon it back.
And the good news is this card has been reprinted a ton of times now, so it's a lot more accessible to everyone too.
And then speaking of search cards, these don't really count as search cards, but we are playing double copies of Pinpoint Landing and then the 1 copy of Foolish Burial.
I would call these more of digging cards. No pun intended, but you're just digging.
Pinpoint Landing says that if exactly 1 monster is special summoned from your hand to your field, you can draw 1 card. I know it's a 1-for-1 trade. We were playing this in the other build along with Pot of Desires, but Pot of Desires sometimes is a little bit more risky, especially in a deck like this where you need a lot of your resources for the grind game. We did change up the build past this, so there are things you don't want to banish, and drawing 1 card, typically all you need is that additional extender anyways. We are only playing this at 2 because it does not stack and you don't want to see multiples of it. And then the other thing is if you do not draw a card by this card effect, at the end of the turn you just send this card to the graveyard. And then Foolish Burial obviously is Foolish Burial. You can like send anything you want. You can send your Marincess cards, your frog package, your barrier statue, anything. It's really good. And then we are playing the 1 copy of Marincess Battle Ocean. This card says that all Marincess monsters you control gain 200 attack. Also, each one gains 600 attack for each Marincess card equipped to it. That's really, really strong. Monsters you control in the extra monster zone that were link summoned using Marincess Crystal Heart as material are also unaffected unaffected by all your opponent's card effects. So this card literally just makes your link monsters a walking towers. And then when you link summon a Marincess monster to the extra monster zone, you can equip up to 3 Marincess link monsters with different names from your graveyard to that link monster. This card allows you to equip 3 different monsters and basically gives all your Marincess link monsters a 2,000 boost because you get 600 for each equip and you get the additional 200. This card basically gives you like a 4,500 towers. It's really, really strong.
Yeah, so then your opponent has to out this before they can really out your stuff.
And if you're sitting on a Toad, good luck, man. Good luck. And then moving off to our Marincess trap cards, we are playing triple copies of Marincess Wave, aka Marincess Infinite Impermanence. If you control a Marincess Link monster, target one face-up monster your opponent controls and negate that face-up monster's effects until the end of this turn. Then, if you control a Link 2 or higher Marincess monster, all face-up monsters you control are currently unaffected by your opponent's card effects until the end of this turn. Card's gross.
So good. If it resolves, it's really good.
And then it has another effect which is really cool, where if you control a Link 3 or higher Marincess monster, you can activate this card from your hand.
Woohoo!
This card's good, dude.
Hi, welcome to the Paleo portion of the video. We're playing triple copies of Dynamiscus and then triple copies of Common Canadia. If you haven't seen the buyout on Canadia, feel free to check it out. The supers are in my Paleo deck because it's better.
Wow, thanks.
Obviously, this is just a really good card. Banishes stuff, face up on the field. This, Book and Moon. Really good cards. They help synergy in the deck, summon them out, make Toad free. Woo!
Yeah, they're free water monsters, they're free bodies, they can make you Toad, they can be link material. These cards are just super powerful. And then moving off to the extra deck, we are playing double copies of Marincess Blue Slug.
Aww.
Blue Slug takes 1 level 4 or lower Marincess monster, and if this card has link summon, you can target 1 Marincess monster in your graveyard, accept itself, and then add it to your hand. The only stipulation, and I say this in every Marincess video, is once you activate and resolve that effect, you are locked into water monsters for the entire turn.
Rip.
This deck is not good enough to have that restriction. I don't know what they were thinking when they put it on this deck, but like,
well, they were thinking, oh, this is a really fun water deck that's actually really busted. So if they're not locked into waters, they can just spam a board, like climb, and bam.
I think it's silly.
I know.
But it is what it is. So this card makes the deck extremely rogue at best. And then we are playing the 1 copy of Marincess Sea Angel. Once again, 1 level 4 or lower Marincess monster. This card just searches your field spell. If this card is link summoned, you can add 1 Marincess spell trap card directly from your deck to your hand. Searches the field spell. Self-explanatory, that's all this card does. And then we are playing the 1 copy of Marincess Crystal Heart. I mean, it has a bunch of text on it, but you only play it because you're trying to make your cards towers. It's super easy to make this, and it's super easy to shuffle this back in.
Yes, so the field spell says if you make anything with Crystal Heart, it's unaffected, essentially.
Yep, so there it is. We play it because we have to. And then we are playing the 1 copy of Splash Mage. This is our one kind of like flex spot in the extra deck. This just helps you make access code. It's 2 Cyberse monsters. You can target 1 Cyberse monster in your graveyard, special summon it in defense position, but its effects are negated. And then for the rest of the turn, you can only special summon Cyberse monsters. You know what? Access code is a Cyberse monster, and it just helps you link climb. It's super free.
Amazing.
The end. And then moving on in the extra deck for probably the best card in the entire deck. This is Marincess Coral Anemone. This takes 2 water monsters, so it's super duper generic. And then you can target 1 water monster in your graveyard with 1,500 or less attack, and then special summon it to a zone that this card points to. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except water. Once again, not really a big fan of that, but like I do understand it. And then it has the additional effect where if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can target 1 Marincess card in your graveyard and then add it to your hand. So this can help you get some of your Marincess resources back, be it your monsters or even your field spell or even the trap card.
A lot of people play this card in Paleo sometimes depending on the build, and like it's okay, but again, the locking into water stipulation is really lame. And again, I think Konami just knew this deck would be way too good if it wasn't locked, so feels bad.
This card is really good because it can help you get some of your frog package back if you want to make an additional Toad, or it can get you back your barrier statue to lock your opponent.
Yeah.
Or if you really just want to link climb, it can get you more extenders onto the field. And then literally the Link 3 version is Marincess Marbled Rock, because you can target 1 Marincess card in your graveyard and then add that card to your hand. You can only use this effective Marble Rock once per turn. The really cool effect though is if your opponent declares an attack, you can send 1 Marincess monster from your hand to the graveyard, and that battle monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle, and you take no damage.
I think all the Marincess cards are really pretty, but then I look at Marbled Rock and she just looks like an upset mom at TGI Fridays. So like, it's fine.
And then moving off to our Link 4s for the Marincess cards, we're playing the 1 copy of Marincess Great Bubble Reef and then the 1 copy of Marincess Wonder Heart. Bubble Reef says that once per turn during each standby phase, so that's yours and your opponent's, you can banish 1 water monster from your graveyard or face up field and then draw a card. So this is a draw 1 every single turn. And keep in mind that we do have ways in the deck to shuffle back some of our banished resources, so it's not like we actually lose them. And then each time a monster is banished face up, once again, that's a card. It's not just your cards. This card gains 600 500 attack for each until the end of this turn. You can send one water monster from your hand to the graveyard and then special summon one of your banished Marincess monsters. This card basically just kind of fuels itself, and we do play a small engine in our main deck to try to facilitate this card as well. And then Wonder Heart is once per battle during damage calculation. If this card battles a monster, quick effect, you could special summon one of your Marincess monsters equipped to this card, and also it cannot be destroyed by battle this turn. You take no battle damage from that battle, and then at the end phase, you can equip that special summon monster back to this card. It also has a floating effect where if this card in its owner's possession is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you could special summon one Link 3 or lower Marincess monster from your graveyard. So this is really good if you're trying to put damage on board, and this is really good if you're trying to play the resource game. And then for our kill button, we are playing the one copy of Access Code. This card is really good in the deck because, as I said, you can Splash Mage into this. It's super easy to make. It is a Cyberse, but you cannot activate any of your Marincess Link 1 or Link 2 effects because it will lock you into waters. This is a dark, so just be very mindful of that. If you do play the deck correctly, though, you do not need to worry about those effects.
Yeah, this is more of, I feel like, a follow-up kind of thing.
It's good to know that all of your Link 4 monsters just take 2 materials to make. The Marincess take 2 waters, and this just takes 2 effect monsters. Obviously, everyone knows what this card does. On summon, you can target a Link monster used for this card's Link summon, and then you gain the attack equal to the Link rating times 1,000, and then you can banish any number of attributes. We're unfortunately only playing water, and then just pop cards on the field. So you could pop 1 and then make this card 4,300 or even 53 if you really want.
If you can't afford Accesscode Talker, you can just play Avermax or Borrelsword. Those are perfectly fine OTK buttons as well.
And then moving off into our rank 4 package, we're playing the one copy of Bahamut Shark.
Bahamut.
This is 2 level 4 water monsters, and then obviously playing everybody's best boy, double copies of Toad. This card's super easy to make because we're playing at least 12, if not 15 level 4 water monsters in our main deck. And once per turn, you can detach 1 material from this card and then special summon 1 rank 3 or lower Xyz water monster from your extra deck. This basically just cheats Toad out of the extra deck. Toad will not have materials, but it is still a negate. And then obviously, Totally Awesome is just an Omni negate, and then like it just sets the card.
And then of course, when Toad goes to the graveyard, you can add any of your water monsters back to your hand. That includes Toad, that includes your Marincess card, that includes literally anything that is a water, which I don't know, is like your whole deck.
The entire deck.
So that's really amazing for resource management in the grind game.
I know Toad is at 3, but if you do play the deck correctly, 2 is all you'll ever need. All right, on to the combo section. All right, y'all, here we are for the combo section of the video. We usually like to just shuffle the cards up real quick and then just demonstrate what the deck can do, because a lot of people understand what the cards do, but seeing the interaction sometimes just helps to really understand the deck a bit more. So yeah, that being said, we're just gonna shuffle up. All right, opponent, you ready to cut? Here you go.
Yep,
have fun.
Here I am in the pond. Ribbit, ribbit, fish noises.
All right, we'll see.
Blue
Blue
Tang,
Tang, what a great one. Dinomischus, Swap Frog, Synap Mining, and a... Oh, wow, that's really good,
Look
dude.
at that pretty hand.
So what we're going to do now is we're going to normal summon our Pascalis, or Pascalis, whatever you want to call it, activate the effect, which will special summon our Blue Tang, and then activate Blue Tang. Blue Tang is going to send our Seahorse from our deck to our graveyard, and then we'll link into our Blue Slug, and then we'll chain block, going Blue Tang is chain link 1, and then Blue Slug is chain link 2, targeting our Seahorse, adding it back to the hand, and then we'll excavate 3. Look at that. Perfect. We'll just take this back, shuffle up. All right, now we're going to special summon our Swap Frog by discarding the Blue Tang that we just had. Swap will send our Rodent Totem. Now we can link our Pascalis into our Sea Angel, and we can activate Sea Angel, searching our field spell directly from our deck to our hand. And now we can special summon our Seahorse to the arrow that Sea Angel provides, and then we can link up here into our Coral Anemone, and then we can activate Coral Anemone, and we can special summon back the Ron that we sent off of our Swap Frog. Now we can activate our field spell because we are going to go into some cool link plays, and then we can overlay here.
Oh boy, I wonder what this is gonna be.
Ribbit.
Totally schmawesome.
There he is. And now, of course, we'll just link climb here again into our Marbled Rock, and it will activate our Anemone and our field spell. So Anemone will add back our Blue Tang, and then obviously the field spell will equip 3 different link monsters from our graveyard to our Marbled Rock. Now, Marbled Rock is officially at 4,500 attack, and then we have 3 cards in our hand. So we'll just set another back row. We'll just move Toady over here. We have 2 cards still, so one is a starter, one is also a search card, and then we'll just end our turn right here. So now, as our opponent enters their standby phase, we'll activate Toad, detaching the Ron.
Yes, get that, Dupe Frog.
Special summoning our Dupe Frog. So now we have a few lines of interaction here. We actually have the Dupe Frog, which is going to protect all of our monsters from battle. We have the Toad, which is an Omni negate. And then we also have battle protection with Marbled Rock, because when our opponent's monster declares an attack, we can send 1 Marincess monster from our hand to the graveyard, and then for that battle, nothing is destroyed, and we take no damage. And we do have that little Blue Tang.
Amazing. And then you also have the trap set, too.
Yep. So off of this opening hand, we have 1, 2, 3, and then 4 interruptions right there. And then we won't showcase it because there's obviously going to be a lot of interactions, but the following turn, in our standby phase, we can activate the Toad, special summon the Swap. Swap will send another card. You can banish the Swap off the run to get an additional body, normal summon, and that's 4 cards on field right there, getting you access code for game.
Pretty linear from there, folks. You just spam the board and link climb.
Once again, this is just a different style Marincess deck. If you do want to see something a little bit more combo heavy, we do have a different version on the channel, which we did link in the beginning of the video. Feel free to go check it out. It's in the deck profile playlist. And yeah, this is just a really fun deck. Like, I really enjoy this deck. It's a really cool little fun little casual rogue deck. It's got tons of lines of play. And if you're looking to play like a cool mid-range control or combo deck, this is definitely one of the decks I would recommend.
Yeah, this deck's a lot of fun. I've always really liked Marincess. We both really have. And it's a versatile little deck. It sets up a pretty cool little towers if you use the field spell right. It's really neat. It's a fun one. We didn't actually showcase the Crystal Heart unaffected part for this just because we wanted to show off that you can make Toad as well and kind of spam that way. But there are a lot of different lines of play for this deck, which makes it a lot of fun for all kinds of players. But yeah, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. We hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to comment below and let us know what you think. And let us know any other fun rogue decks that you'd like to see in the future too, because we have a lot of them and we can always build more. But we love you. You matter. And we hope you all have a spectacular Tuesday. We will see you guys later in the week with who knows? We'll find out. But with that being said, take it away, boys. Bye, guys.